Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you are new, welcome as well. I am Giselle Behrens and this is Photo TV NYC with free tutorials every day at 12 and at 3 p.m. directly from New York City. Today we're going to be learning how to edit and remove an object or an element from your photos, and it's going to go on the go with a free app anybody can download. If you do learn something on this tutorial, please do remember to subscribe so you never miss a tutorial and so you can learn how to improve your photos, the photos you already have on your phone. Hit that like button and let's start. Today's app is called Snapseed and it's completely free. It's created by Google, so we thank Google for that. You can download it both on iPhone or on Android. Both of the links are down below in the description, so you can go ahead, download it, open it up. The screen that you see right there of the cell phone is my cell phone and it's live, so any adjustments that I will be doing, you're going to be able to see them as well at the same time. If you have any questions, just go ahead, write on the live chat, and if you're watching the recorded version, just write it down in the descriptions and we'll get back to you. Today's photo, because we are editing your photos, is from Marta Mendez. So thank you for this beautiful photo. She asked to remove the two subjects on the background just to make him pop out on the photo and remember this special moment that they had. So I'm going to be over here, and on my right hand side is my screen right there, live. Once you have your app open, you're going to have a screen that has a plus sign in the middle. Very intuitive. You're just going to tap on that plus sign and locate the photo that you want to adjust. So in this case, it's this photo. Now, the first thing that we want to do is go down to Tools. Just take a look at the screen. I'm going to be indicating where the buttons are. And we're going to locate Healing, which is on the left side. So Healing is going to help us remove an element very quickly. Now, the secret is to use your two fingers as if you were zooming in the photo and just zoom in. And when you do that, you see that a dotted white line appears as a circle. Now, this is going to be the size of the brush that we're going to be using, and our brush is our finger. So with our finger, we're just going to brush out these two persons that are in the background. I want you to have them as big as you can without cropping them out of your screen. The reason is that the closer and the bigger they are, the smaller the brush is and the easier it is to control the areas that you want to remove. So let's go ahead and start. I'm just going to start painting on them with my finger just like this. And you want to make sure that you're as tight as possible to the subjects when you're going to remove them. Just make sure that all of the area is red. When you're ready, just release it. And as you can see on the screen, you're going to have some ghosting because the software is going to start grabbing everything that is nearby. If you do have an element that is nearby, this is very common for it to happen. So what we're going to do is just repeat the same process as many times as we need to remove it. So let's see how many times we do have to do it to remove this. Again, you're going to zoom in and start removing. And you want to stay as far away from your subject as you can, because the further away you stay, the less it's going to grab it to clone it and to duplicate it on your area. Now, I do want a little bit of a more natural feel to it because over here, you can still see a little bit of clumpness, right? So we're just going to dive in, continue brushing, stroke by stroke. Oh, that one, it went to the ear, so I'm just going to, I don't want to make him look like a little elf, so I'm just going to undo it. Undo, and that's going to undo my last brush. I'm just going to make sure to not touch the element that I want to leave like that. I'm going to zoom out and check it out. I think around there I'm okay. And that's it. you already removed the elements that you were looking to remove. Again, you can zoom back in and just retouch as many times as you want, and that's it. It really took us only like 20 seconds to do it. With more practice, you're going to be able to do it on the go anytime in any photo that you want on your cell phone. Now that we're ready with that element, we're going to hit our check mark and start with the general adjustments. So on the general adjustments, I want you to go back to Tools and locate Tune Image. On Tune Image, we're going to have our finger pressed on the screen and just scroll up and down, and that's going to make the pop-up menu appear. So we're going to start from the top to the bottom. We're going to add some brightness. Now I don't want to add too much brightness because or else my whites get overblown, but the photo is pretty dark, so it accepts some brightness. I'm going to leave it at 48, and that is because I don't want this part of the image, his cheeks and his nose, to be too white, like a hot spot. So I'm going to leave it at 48. You can always see where your adjustment is on the top, and you can see the 48 right there. So I'm going to continue with my adjustments. Pop up the menu, go down to contrast, augment contrast. You're going to augment the adjustments by just sliding your finger to the right. That's going to give you a positive adjustment. To the left, you reduce the adjustment or the contrast. And I think I'm going to leave it around 31. Continuing down, I'm going to add saturation just a little bit, just to give him some warmth on the skin. I'm going to add 10. Around 10 is good. 13, no, a little bit less. 9. Perfect, I'll take 9. Ambience. So ambience is either going to brighten up the environment in the photo or darken it. We want to darken the background just to make it recess backward and so he can just pop forward because it is a portrait. So we're going to darken the ambience. You can go ahead and just slide it all the way to the left so you can see how the adjustment looks. But I'm going to reset it back to 0 and then just slowly make it a little bit darker. You can always see the before and after of the adjustments right here. If you take a look at the screen, you can see the little icon. Just press on that, leave it pressed. You can see the before and the after. You can see that it's really opening up. And the last one I want to do, highlights. I want to zoom in the face and just make sure that his cheeks and his nose are not too blown out, that they're not white. So I'm just going to lower the highlights just a little bit. And we're actually going to add warmth as well, just tiny warmth. All of the adjustments, I want you to do them subtle adjustments because subtle adjustments are going to add up to give that wow to your photo. Rather than if you do a dramatic one, you can go ahead and do it, but it's going to give you a more artistic look. Okay. So press my check mark, go to Tools, and now we're going to go to Vignette. Vignette is down on the right here. So activate the vignette. With your finger, you're going to be able to press on top of the blue button or the blue circle and just open up that circle with a pinch. So everything that is around the circle is going to start vignetting or becoming darker. And anything that is inside is going to be untouched. So I want to make sure that his face remains nice and airy. So outer brightness, I'm going to go negative. And around 75 is good. I think that there I'm good. And I'm going to hit on the check mark. If you do want to lighten everything around, you can just do a positive and to the left, an adjustment to the left, and it's going to give you positive, like right there. But we are looking to darken up the background, so I'm going to leave it in negative 75. Press check mark, and now I'm going to go to portrait. Portrait is one of the tools that I most love to use when I am adjusting a portrait. Now, when you are in portrait, I'm going to show you exactly what it does. I want you to go and select the filter that is called Combo 1. And the reason for that, I'm not a big fan of filters, but this one is a predetermined setting that is going to automatically place all of the settings in certain numbers. Let's check them. So the first one is spotlight, and it gives you +30. If you diminish it, you can see how his face starts looking darker. If you augment it, you can see how his face starts looking brighter and his environment darker. So I have seen that between 20 to 30 is a good place to be in, just as a rule of thumb, but you can always just go less or more however you feel the photo is looking. So I'm going to leave it in 30. The skin smoothing gives you a positive of 20, and eye clarity just illuminates on the eyes, and that gives you a positive of 20. I've seen that this combo 1 is a really good way to start. The great thing is that you can always adjust them with our fingers in seconds. So now that I'm happy with this, let's take a look at the before and the after, and that's the before of the after of only the portrait adjustment. Before, after. You can see how he really starts popping forward with his little cheeks that he has. So I'm going to press the check mark, and we're going to do one more adjustment, which is lens blur. I also like to do it when I have a portrait. Lens blur is right here, because lens blur is going to help me separate the subject from the background. Now, the really cool thing about this adjustment is that with your fingers again, you can just change the size of the mask, just opening and closing, and you can do it vertically and horizontally. So I'm going to leave a nice oval around him. You can check on the blur strength, which is right on top. Because the photo was already a little bit blurred, I'm going to go less, because we don't want it to look too blurred out, or else, you know, you start losing all of the details. And I love the environment, I love the story and the trip that they were taking, so it has a really nice story. It adds to the photo. So I'm going to leave it in 17 plus 17. You can go down to transition, and transition is just going to feather out, just like a gradient between the blur and the sharpness of the photo. So it's always nice to have a nice and big, fluffy and feathery transition, because you don't want the edges to be too hard, delimiting between what's blurry and what's sharp, unless that is your intention, of course. So I'm going to leave it at 61, and I'm going to press check mark. Now, when you're on your main screen, you can check anytime the before and after of your original photo. So just with your finger, I'm using my thumb, just leave your hand pressed, and there you can see how the original photo looked. Although it was a really cool image, we did manage to do what Marta asked us to do, which was to remove the two persons from the photo, leave a very clean and nice portrait of him right here. Once you're done, you just hit the export button on the bottom right. When you do that, you can share it, or you can save and create a copy of your photo on your phone. And we are done. So again, here is the before and after. Thank you, Marta, so much for sending this photo. You can do this in a matter of 1 or 2 or 3 minutes with practice. Please do remember to subscribe if you feel that you learned something. Share the love if you feel that somebody wants to know how to remove an element very quickly, in seconds, I'm sure, and I challenge you to do it in less than 20 seconds. I'm sure that you can do it. Hit that like button, and we'll see you at 3 p.m. with another live tutorial from myphototvnyc. I'm Giselle Behrens, and please remember to take many photos during your day. Bye, everybody.